Hello everyone, my name is Sujin and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've done something like this. Been meaning to do one and I did record a video a couple of weeks back, but then I didn't get around to posting it. Everything is edited, but then I was like, yeah, it's just that I'm not yet comfortable, or let's say confident. That's a better word. Being in front of camera and talking about stuff. So this video is essentially about me talking about my film journey, which I recently started this year from Feb. I got this camera in February of 2023. I've been shooting film since then. I've gone through like 12, 13 rolls now, mix of both color and black and white, and I've been enjoying this process a lot. The reason why I'm making this video is because I shot long exposures with this I did get a shutter release exposed for the first time on film, and to be fair, I just got the scans back and I'm pleasantly surprised these photos have turned out better than I expected, because going in when I started shooting that role I was like it is always a hit or miss with film, because again, first thingly, I don't know a lot about this format and you're not instantly gratified, as you can't even look as to what you have shot. You have to shoot the entire roll, get it developed, get it scanned, and that's when you're going to see how the photos have turned out. And in that way, you're certainly more involved in the process, which I absolutely love. I can't express that enough. That is the major reason why I think I'm falling in love with this format and falling in photography in general. You're more involved in the process, you're more involved in the story or in the frame or the composition of every single photo, because you always think twice, because every single photo on a roll is kind of has a value to it, and technically it does have a value to it because it is expensive, the entire process, so much more involved. That is something I really enjoy, because in digital you're instantly once you're done with the shot, you can instantly see what you have shot, and you can make these changes, like maybe increase the shutter speed, lower the ISO, whatever you can to get the exposure right on the next shot. But it is not like that, so you essentially get a chance of shots to get that frame. And if you mess it up, either you finish a roll and you can always go back there and try again, but then you want to nail it the first time. So that is the kick. It has a special kick when you nail it the first time, and I feel like this role, and going back looking at these scans, I got that kick out of this, because I'm really pleased, happy as to how these have turned out. So let's start with the first photo. So this is the long exposure that I shot. I think this was during the sunset, so essentially between the two buildings it is overexposed right now, but then it was a beautiful scene right there, because with the orange clouds and stuff. But then I think my essential plan was to get the water, try to get the water clean and silky, as well as have the light reflections with it. It's just something that, and I also really like a lot of elements to it, with the foreground, the water, and then the skyline of sorts, the building in the background. And it has come out really well, to be fair. And as you can see, the Kodak Gold has a warm look to it, and it has a generally warm look to it, and the greens are a bit more, the yellows are a bit more on the green side, as you can see on the parking lights as well. And yeah, it does turn out. And this is the second shot. I'm really happy with this one. I think this is one of my favorites of all time that I've shot on film till now. Again, I wanted to get this whole scene, and this is kind of a wide shot, where I need to get the water as silky as I can, as well as get the sky, this clouds moving as well, because it was an overcast day, and it has turned out really well. I love how the light has reflected the water, and something about this shot with the warm hues of Kodak Gold's color, like the nature of Kodak Gold, is just it's my favorite, one of my favorites from this roll for sure. The next one, okay, this is a special one. I can't stress enough how happy I am about this, to be fair. I usually, this is the way to my uni of sorts, so I pass this way, and the tram kind of goes in between the roads, as you can see. And I always wanted to shoot a long exposure here for a while, since since even in trying digital, but then never got around to doing it. I was like, okay, since I'm outside, let me try this before it gets too dark. And I think I got the perfect shot. I'm so happy with myself for nailing all the right things. I think always when you're shooting long exposed, one thing is that I shoot it like in between f8 to f11, so that you get everything in focus. And you need to use a light meter. So I used an app called the Light Meter from Android that is available in store. I'll probably link it below. A proper light meter, your physical light meter shows more accurate values, but then this kind of does the job without, it was a paid app, but then I paid like, £5 for it. It is a great app for what it does. It was about 8 to 9 second exposure at obviously ISO 200, and it was around f8 f11. And I was just waiting for the tram, for the perfect moment, so that when the tram starts moving, turning, that's when I started and counted 1 2 3 till 9 seconds, and I left it, and it has turned out really well. So happy with this one, probably my favorite shot. And this is on the other side, like on the other side of the previous shot, looking into the tram stop. I did wait for a bit to get the tram coming, but then it was really cold, and then I was literally positioned on the track of the tram, and then how it works here. I don't think they would be happy with me standing in center of the tram line and then going about it. So I was like, yeah, let me not take the risk, and I got this shot. And this was like a 4 to 5 second exposure. And I'm really happy with this as well, because there is a lot of leading lines, as well as the buildings as well, a lot of layers, and cables, the tram lines coming on, like on top. It's just a clean, simple shot with that film characteristic, which is really good. I really like this as well. This the next one. This was few days after. This got me my the best shot of all time for me personally, because this is literally my dream shot of shots. As a photographer, you're always thinking as to there are always some ideas that in your head you always want to shoot, and this is one of those where, like, I wanted to get someone standing in front of a tram, and get the whole tram, the long exposure of the tram moving across on the background, with the person standing in the foreground. And then it has depth and layers to it, and this shot has turned out really well. Set the shot up like for all the composition, where the framing and stuff, and I kind of focused it on him, and then we just waited for the tram to come by. And then we had, like, the tram comes in every 10 to 12 minute intervals, so we just essentially metered it when the first tram come by, and then set up the shot. And then all the settings were dialed in, so it's just me holding the shutter release, waiting for the next tram to come by. And then I think 10 or 12 minutes later, the tram did come by, and it was like, bro, he was in shot. He was giving the probably the perfect frame. And then I was like, yeah, let me go. And this was quite bit, like, I don't know, a 14 to 15 second exposure. And I think with this shot, I personally didn't have to do any post correction once the scans were in, because I kind of nailed the exposure in the first go, which I'm really happy with. I'm really happy with the shot. This is like a portfolio shot of me, probably the best one of all time for me. Yeah. And again, this is again one more of these. There is one more as well, which I'm really happy with. These 3 shots is like, you're, as a photographer, you have these ideas in your mind that you want to go out and create, and you want to actually bring it to life, and then you actually do it, and it turns out exactly the way you have envisioned in your mind. There is no other feeling to it. I'm telling you, I don't know how you guys can relate to me, but then it's just a complete. And then to do this on film, it's just, I'm so happy. You have to, like, I was so happy when I got these scans in, and then I imported these photos into Lightroom, and I saw how it has turned out. I was like, mate, okay, I don't think I can up this for a while, but then this is a great start. You're going the right way. You have put in the time, and there is a lot of story as well, because we did go keep a phone to record the BTS as to how the shot came about. And yeah, it has a lot more personal value. That's the beauty of film. Like, these photos, you have shot it, and then you are done with it for a while. You can't look, and then you have to wait for the scans to come back, and then when you actually open it, you get how good it is. You're like, yeah, man, this is a perfect shot. And the beauty of this is that we kind of messed up the first attempt, because he was not in the correct frame, like standing. And then I think I started started a bit late, and the tram has already passed, so it came out a bit blurry. I might add this photo on the top as well, but and then we were like, I was like, okay, he would kind of, okay, maybe let's move, because it's already too dark. And then he insisted me, okay, let's go for another take, it's fine, I think let's make sure we nail it this time. And so we literally waited for the next 12 or 13 minutes, So we kind of have the settings dialed in already. It was like, okay, let's make sure everything is on set, where you stand and where you have to pose, and how to time the shutter release, and everything was sorted because we had the previous attempt, like our failure attempt, to nail the shot. And man, I'm so happy with this. Okay, one important thing, if you zoom in, I think I might have, maybe without knowing, might have pushed the lever of the manual focus up slightly during those waiting time, which I didn't know. But then when you look at it as a wide shot, this is like beyond perfect. There are so much layers to it. You can see the entire tram with him standing and giving this with this key light coming to hitting his one of it, and with this glasses on, and with this you can actually see the cars and other stuff behind as well. And there are a lot of light painting on top and in between. I think these are lights that were inside the tram. There is so much layers to it, and it's so good. I'm so happy with how this has turned out as well. And this is my third shot. This is again favorite one. So this shot we actually came up with it on location when we were doing the shot. We saw a poster that was on the wall. We were like, how did they attempt this? Let's try to recreate this now, because pretty much they had a poster of this tram station, and with something similar of the kind of photo or there. I was like, okay bro, what if we could try this, and maybe you stand as a subject and could get the tram moving, and then maybe if you can get the some kind of long exposure on the roads on the other side, it would be really good. And as you can see in the behind the scenes video, someone started walking because the tram stops and then people come out. They started and they got into frame. I was like, I was pretty stressed, and I was like, oh shit, maybe this is not the right time. I think we kind of messed up. But then I went ahead and actually shot it, and he was giving the best pose probably. And I didn't think about whether the cars came in and stuff like that, because I was focused and sort of upset because someone came into the frame. But then I didn't realize, because with long exposure, when people are moving, you actually don't get to see them. And then I shot it right when he kind of went behind this frame. If you zoom into this photo, you can actually see a person's shadow or this shots. But then yeah, this shot is just golden. It's just perfect. It's so good. And yeah, I'm really happy with it as well. These three, and I'm glad that we went out and actually shot it. And yeah, I'm so happy with how it has turned out. Plus, adding to that is the Kodak Golds, the actual film presence of treating how it treats yellows and hues, the having it warm view, and how it treats these colors. It just adds another layer to it. This was a few days later, and then this is one of in my friend's flat of sorts, where it has an amazing view of the Manchester skyline. It was like, what if I finish off the road, because I did shoot somewhere in between, the normal day-to-day stuff, street photography style stuff. But then what if I finish off with the long exposure of the entire skyline? And I feel like this could have been the best spot. And this is one of this photo that I shot. This wasn't really long exposure, but then I think the sun was coming down and it was raining as well. So I think I did expose it for half a second, or I think 1 second of shots. And I'm really happy with how it has turned out. It has that look that you can't, that's just special. And the frame, everything about this, with these two chairs and with the skyline building out of focus, and the fog and the clouds rolling in with the with the raindrops in the glass. I shot this from inside the house. So I was like, yeah, so happy with the shot as well. And this again, really happy with it. This I took a while to get the shot. Again, as a composition, I'm just obviously it was too dark as well, and there are lots of lights. Obviously maybe it could have been better if it was shot during the same time around when the sun was setting during blue hour, so that you get that light as well. And it wasn't the perfect conditions, let's say like that, because it was raining, it was cloudy, it was overcast, and I did go out a bit late into the dark. But then I'm really happy with how it has turned out. It has got all the city lights well exposed, really good. The colors of Kodak Gold again coming through a lot. And then I did wait for pretty much half an hour, because I don't know if you guys can see, pretty much no one would notice on first go, because you can actually see that lying long exposure of the train that comes through this bridge. And I waited for half an hour, nothing happened. It was just empty. The trains were going straight, and there are so many train tracks here that it was all going all in different places, but not the one that I wanted. But then after a while that happened, and it was like, okay, this is the perfect time. And I think I got the shot right on time from when it started entering the bridge till kind of the end of the frame as well. So I'm really happy with it, really happy with this shot as well. And the last one, this again is another, the same kind of place, but then turn the camera over to the other side to get the shots, the long exposure of the cars going by the road, as well as have the skyline in the background. Again, you really can't see the long exposures until you zoom in, but then just having the shot, the buildings well exposed, and yeah, anything like just the composition and just having this as a memory is just special. Shooting this on film is just a special feeling, mate. Like I really can't express how happy I am with this role. Again, I'm just starting out. I really know the bare minimum, to be honest. And yeah, it's just about learning and going out and actually shooting film as well, and I'm really enjoying it, and I don't think I want to stop anytime soon. It is expensive, but then I feel like this is a great way to keep myself involved in this process, involved in this art form. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stop, and probably, and I feel like this kinds of videos, just sitting and talking about these kinds of photos, or the photos that I've shot from travels and stuff like this, is just a way of documenting myself as to what the story and the behind the scenes it went through. And it gives me a chance to reflect on what I could have done better. I hope you learned something. I hope this was entertaining, fun, and I'll come back with another role to share, or another travel film, or another stuff to talk about. And yeah, see you guys soon, and bye.